What is up, you guys? So the Duke is here today to bring you Nanatsu Taizai chapter 252 review. So this chapter of Taizai was pretty simple and straightforward. Pacing wise, it was alright. We mainly had like a heart-touching moment between Elizabeth and her father. Then from that point on, we move on to Dreyfus and Graramore talking about the God's Clan. From there, we move on to Rudisil addressing the Holy Knights about the upcoming Holy War. And after that, we get the reveal of what happened to the fourth Archangel. First off, when it comes to, I guess, characterization was pretty much, we got characterization for three characters, which was Elizabeth, Dreyfus, and Rudisil. When it came to Elizabeth, we basically get a bit of characterization for her to why she would, back in the day, she would always, like, hide her, goddess eye and shit like that. And she basically, it was pretty much that she felt like, an outcast towards the family and shit like that. And she thought everybody would hate her and shit like that. And now, like, she went back to her old hairstyle that she had when she was a little girl and shit. And now, pretty much she showed that she still loves her family and shit like that. And her father, the king, he still hopes that, when it comes to, Elizabeth, she hopes that, like, she'll still be fine. And same with Margaret, too. Because Elizabeth, she does plan on, trying to get Margaret back from, Rudisil, who's currently possessing her at the moment. Moving on, we get characterization from Dreyfus to where even though he doesn't agree with the shit that Fraudulent pulled, he still shows that some degree of respect towards him when it came to his morals and shit like that. Because when it came to Dreyfus, we got pretty much the reveal that, and we kind of knew this for a little bit now, that both him and Fraudulent, while they were sharing a body, they also shared their memories with each other and shit. And when it came to that, he didn't trust the Goddess Clan, the aspect of how they brainwash people, how the upper goddesses, such as the four archangels, they brainwash people to do their shit for them. So, and he's worried about Hendrickson too, because Hendrickson, of course, is a druid, and that's basically his faith. They worship the fuck out of the Goddess Clan. And so, like, Dreyfus is like, look, even though, like, Fraudulent was this really fucked up dude and shit like that, he still had morals, and the reason why he hated the Goddess Clan and shit like that for what they did was because they massacred all of his friends and fellow demons and shit like that, and possibly even family members of his. So, like, he can kind of understand it from that aspect, him being a holy knight himself. So, again, he's not, and he still expresses that he's still not in favor of, like, supporting the demon clan and shit like that, but he's also not in favor of supporting the goddess clan either. It shows to me that Hendrickson, if the time comes, like, he'll probably side with the sin. He'll most likely definitely side with the sins in that aspect. I mean, not fucking Hendrickson, Dreyfus, fucking Dreyfus. Goddamn, I'm fucking up on that shit. When it comes to characterization for Rudisil, after he got done hyping up the Holy Knights and shit about the upcoming Holy War to face the Demon Clan and eradicate them and shit like that, Despierre shows up, and he basically expresses his distrust towards the Goddess Clan because of what happened to Denzel. And Rudisil realized that that Denzel was the host of Nirabasta, and mind you, Nirabasta, she was kind of like, she had feelings for Rudisil. So when it came to, like, what was going on there, we don't know if Rudisil, like, felt the same way towards her and shit like that, and that's why he was crying and shit. He expressed that when it came to the goddesses, that they themselves are not gods. When it comes to the feeling they share about losing people they care about, they like, whether they be gods or human and shit like that, they share the same feeling. That feeling is not, like, different. It's the same. So that's a bit of characterization right there for Rudisil. It seems like he genuinely does feel sympathy, but at the same time, I feel like he kind of, with that that breath of bless and shit like that, even though he seems to give Denzel and the others a bit of a power up, but at the same time, I feel like Rudisil could have brainwashed them at that point in time. I'm not too sure. I'm not going to say that he did, but I think he might have. Like, I'm not 100% sure though. We get the answer from Rudisil about what happened to Mael, the fourth Archangel. And we found out that Mael, he was killed by the Ten Commandments, and the commandment that killed him was none other than Estarossa. this to me was like, dude, this guy, like, literally, like, this guy, like, oh my gosh, Estarossa, man. Call me crazy. I feel like Nakaba is setting up Estarossa to be possibly the final villain of Nanatsu no Taizai. I could be wrong on this. I could wholeheartedly be wrong with this, because that's a stretch right there. Because the final villain is supposed to be either, I believe, the Supreme Deity or the Demon King, unless like there's like a true god above them. I remember Rudisil, he was saying like when Elizabeth was extracting expelling the darkness from Derriere and Mon, he was saying that he wouldn't forgive her. I don't know if that was a mistranslation. It was supposed to say she, which means Elizabeth's mother, the Supreme Deity, Alma, but that could possibly be a hint right there that there may be a god above the Demon King and the Supreme Deity. So, again, like, I think Estarossa could possibly be the final villain. Maybe there's a possibility. It's a long stretch, because just of like the way what we know about Estarossa as of now, his connection to Elizabeth, there's a lot of shit that can happen with Estarossa, and he's been a character that's been built up for a long time now. That's my thoughts right then and there. So that's pretty much it for this video. Overall, I thought the chapter was an okay to good chapter. It was mainly a setup chapter, pretty much. Be sure to like the video, comment, subscribe if you want, and follow me on Twitter. The Duke of Yonkos is signing off. Peace. Andy, he really should back the fuck off and stop sucking Rudisil's dick. Like, he loves goddess dick. That's pretty much what's going on right now. Because he's a druid, he loves that goddess dick. He wants Rudisil in him. Like, Rudisil will just magically grow a dick out of Margaret's body and then starts fucking the shit out of Hendrik. Like, oh my god.